What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bolsley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28. That's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, happy Monday, dude. How was the weekend?
Oh, not so bad at all. I've been trying a couple new games on Game Pass. I've been playing on my Forza steering wheel and pretending I'm driving the sweet, beautiful countryside of Mexico.
That's fair. That's fair. Dude, we also jumped into the test over with Predecessor. I'm a huge fan of Paragon. Paragon was a sad moment for me when they packed it up over at Epic. Now Omega Studios took over and they're making Predecessor. They had all the assets handed out to them from Epic Games. Anybody could take those assets and use them. Omega came in, formed their own studio, have now gone on to bring on Predecessor. Dude, it feels just like Paragon and even better. It was really, really good. I had a blast. Some games got absolutely destroyed. Other games, I was the one getting destroyed. It had the highs, had the lows. It's one of those things. But yeah, it was more of a stress test. So they just want to see how many people they could pump into the server and maybe hopefully keep it going, keep it alive, and not break it. Scott, how did you feel about playing Predecessor for the first time?
Oh, that was pretty good. It kind of reminded me of Smite, but with a lot better camera control, a lot better kind of third-person action stuff. But I took a good beating for the few games that I played, so I would like to see my character do, well, but that'll be for another time. I hope they're bringing back another test, or the game's coming out eventually.
Well, it's coming out eventually. I'm curious as to when it'll be out. I'm more looking at the side of maybe it's coming to early access kind of thing, right? Will we see that over there? Yeah. It is funded, of all people. It is funded by the Epic Mega Grant, which is just so bizarre. It was your game, but either way, Fortnite took over and now we have Omega. So thank you to Omega for bringing this game back. I definitely loved every minute of it. Dude, I was watching it on Twitch. I was watching Top Tier play. I was playing. We were playing. Dude, I had a blast. Hell Monkey, though, on the other hand, hit me up today on Twitter, said, didn't click for him. I get it. Dude, not every MOBA is going to click with a lot of people, right? MOBA is definitely a different genre, and if you're not into it, this one's a lot different than your top down view of like League of Legends or Dota, right? We're now in this third-person perspective. A lot more my play style, as I'll say, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely loved it a lot more.
Yeah, me too.
That game works really well, but what if it only had 5 heroes?
Oh, you had to go there. Okay, let's get into it then, because it's Hood. Talking about Hood Outlaws and Legends, they're about to launch season 3. As of right now, I know nothing about another outlaw getting dropped. We have 5 outlaws. We've had 5 outlaws now for 2 seasons. We're getting into the 3rd season. They're all banking on season 3, carrying the longevity and building their community back up. They're launching on PlayStation Plus. Scott, where the heck is another outlaw? I'm hoping to see another outlaw. We just haven't seen it yet. Maybe they're just waiting to drop it, like a stealth drop of some sort. But man, you got to build your community. Come to the table with some outlaws.
I would not recommend that in their case. I think as much as you can put it to the forefront is better. And oh man, it just hurts so much because I like the concept behind that game, and it really just needs something. There's more of a variance in Halo Infinite than there is in Hood, and that's not supposed to be.
There's 3 game modes in Hood right now, and there's 5 outlaws, but there's been 5 outlaws now for so long. If you take a look at Siege, obviously the 2 different studios. Sumo Newcastle is a very small studio versus Ubisoft being a very large studio, right? So there's a lot going on in difference as far as scope goes, but they pump out every time a new season drops. Dude, Siege drops a new operator. They should be following suit. They've seen the formula drop for so long. Why aren't they paying attention to what's going on? Instead, they're just going to drop out new cosmetics for Robin. Are you kidding? Like, really? That's what you want to keep this game alive with, dropping new cosmetics? Definitely curious to see what the future of this game looks like and what season 3 is going to be, because it's now bringing over cross invite for PlayStation and Xbox, which is great. Now I can hook up with my brother. But enough of that, Scott. People can join us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, rumors are out and about PlayStation making a really big acquisition. What studio will they buy next? We have a lot of thoughts and discussions to go on to this one. It could take up the whole show, but we'll try and keep it small. We'll see, but no promises. Some are deeply concerned with Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard, and the next Assassin's Creed game could be the end of the Hidden Ones. Are you kidding me, dude? That's like one of my favorite parts about Assassin's Creed is the stealth stuff. Man,
I'm confused as to that one, but we'll get there.
We will get there. Dude, I have questions and concerns. Let's get going though, as we have really big PlayStation acquisition could be in the works. Comes from Partha over at Game Rant. PlayStation has acquired several studios in the past year. 2021 saw the acquisition of Housemarque, Bluepoint Games, Fire Sprite, Nexus Software, and Valkyrie Entertainment, and as well, just recently, Haven Studios. Needless to say, PlayStation Studios has greatly expanded since the beginning of the generation. On January 31st, 2022, Sony announced it is acquiring Bungie for $3.6 billion. However, Bungie confirmed that it will continue to develop multi-platform games and will not release content exclusively to PlayStation devices. Games currently in development at Bungie will also not be exclusive, which resulted in some fans questioning Sony's decision to pay such a hefty fee.
Right? I think you were one of the questioning why.
Dude, $3.6 billion. Why wouldn't you want to hold something over to your own PlayStation as an exclusive? Entice people to go PlayStation only, right? Take away from all the purchases that Microsoft's making lately, right? Dude, Bethesda, Activision, man, like they're bringing in some top tier stuff. How do you not kind of fight back? Here's your chance with Bungie being one of the lead in first person shooters, dude. Like they invented Halo. How do you let that go onto other platforms now, right? When you have that company going, okay, now let's line up this, and this for PlayStation exclusive. Just makes a lot of sense. Now, a new rumor suggests that Sony has another massive acquisition to announce. This information comes from GameSpeed, Jeff Grubb, and Kinda Funny's Greg Miller, friend of the show, in a video upload on Kinda Funny Games YouTube channel. Grubb and Miller confirmed that they have heard about a new, really big Sony acquisition from multiple sources. They don't go in, dude. I listen to that podcast. I listen to Kinda Funny. I'm a big fan of Kinda Funny. I really do enjoy their content. And for me, they didn't go into anything as to what. They're just questioning if it's actually going to happen. There's a lot of speculations and rumors going on right now that PlayStation is looking to buy up another studio, not a company, right? So you can't go, they're going to buy Square Enix. That's a whole company, not a studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's that to kind of keep in the back of your mind. What studio do you think they're going to buy, Scott? Do you have any ideas? I have one in particular.
Well, everybody's going to look to FromSoft. They're going to say, okay, that was the biggest splash this century. Somebody's going to want to buy them up. But I think their price tag just went up by, 6 zeros probably. So yeah, I don't think that's attainable. Square Enix is a good idea, but then again, you're correct. That's many studios. You can't just pull that in easily.
I feel they're going after Kojima Productions. That's my idea where they're heading next. Dude, they've worked with Kojima for so long, right?
That's so awkward, isn't it, though? How do you pull them back in? Well, come back. It was me, not you.
It was, he departed from Konami, right? And then Kojima Productions did Death Stranding for PlayStation as an exclusive. Apparently they're working on something right now. They're also working on something with Xbox. Not a big deal though when you think about it, because Microsoft purchased Bethesda Studios at the time. Arcane was working on Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, which was exclusive for PlayStation. So they can keep that going, right? That contract's already settled and done. So whatever Kojima Productions is working on, rumors to be an xCloud game, that's already probably in the works and ready to go. That production's probably maybe even started by now. But if you bring in Kojima, man, it was a big announcement when they got him in the first place to make Death Stranding for their platform. Why not bring in one of the biggest creative minds? And here's the other thing too, Scott. Don't forget that he also wants to get into movies, which PlayStation is heavily into right now as well.
What do you think that's going to be first? The Death Stranding movie?
Absolutely.
If you had to guess, I think that'd be the first project.
I think so. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? I think that's something that they definitely want to do and look towards. That is definitely on their radar. especially with all the movies that they're releasing right now or announced, right? We're getting into even the TV series with The Last of Us. We're getting into television. We're getting into movies with Ghost of Tsushima, right? We just had Uncharted. They own Spider-Man. So like it seems to make a lot of sense.
I want to see a Shadow of the Colossus silent movie.
Oh, dude, that'd be weird.
It would be weird, but I think it would be so powerful.
It would have to be done, I think, by like an indie, right? You know what I mean? Like an indie film producer, not a. I don't. Can you see Kojima doing that?
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to have such a huge VFX board for that.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's we'll see what happens with the future of the next acquisition. Maybe we'll find out a little more this week. But my speculations, well, I was thinking at one point it could have been Quantic Dream, but then we heard last week that they got 100% purchased by NetEase, the mobile developer. Yeah. So it was kind of like, oh, well, that's out then. So my next forefront thought would have been Kojima Productions, and we'll see what the future holds there. But we'll also see what the future holds for Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, as 4 U.S. senators, quote, are deeply concerned, end quote. Let's go through David.
I'm just going to take a guess here, a stab in the dark. I think these 4 U.S. senators are likely concerned about a lot of stuff. I think that's their job. So,
sure.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, right? When big acquisitions are announced, it is always exciting, and in that, it becomes easy to forget the big deals aren't always final. The companies are finally talking about it. Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, for example, is not finalized and is still under review by the FTC. It's a large acquisition that, when final, will no doubt change the course of how the industry works. But that won't happen unless the FTC judges the deal to not be anti-competitive. For the U.S. senators, there's a deeper issue than that. Elizabeth Warren.
All the deals competitive? I don't understand. Isn't that the whole idea of the?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's 4 brokers in all send a letter to the FTC outlining how they are, quote, deeply concerned, end quote, with the acquisition regarding how it may threaten worker-led movements. Really? Here's the thing. Okay, here's the quote.
Here's where it gets even more off track here.
Oh, man. Quote, we are writing today regarding Microsoft's proposed $68.7 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, a merger that threatens worker-led demands for accountability and could create a dangerous precedent in the industry. Workers at Activision Blizzard, following years of rampant sexual misconduct and discrimination and unfair labor practices, have led calls for greater transparency and accountability in the gaming industry. And we are deeply concerned that this acquisition could further disenfranchise these workers and prevent these workers from being heard, end quote. Dude, I think that is a load of crap.
Yeah, I think that's the complete opposite of what's likely to happen, really. How does that... Is there some sort of like litigations happening that changing the company hands would cancel? Because I don't believe that's how it works. It's not like this trade deal will cement Bobby Kotick as it just doesn't fly with me. I don't quite understand how that works.
Dude,
if anything, I think a changing of the guard is supposed to fix the problem.
Absolutely, right? A lot of people are saying Bobby Kotick should be fired. Here's their opportunity now to get rid of him, right? Yeah, he's going to leave with an enormous amount of money. That's already been set. Bobby has set himself up so well that he can just go buy an island and hide for the rest of his life. But dude, the thing is, moving forward though, here's the opportunity for Microsoft to go, okay, you know what? Our company now is restructuring. So you're a jerk, you're fired. You're a jerk, you're done. You're one of those problems too. Dude, they can just restructure and eliminate a ton of people and fix this problem.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure I understand, but I think the kind of bigger story behind this is that the U.S. senators are going to do what they always do, and that's kind of throw a lot of red tape on things and insert their opinion onto every situation that happens. And I think that's kind of what's happening here, because I just don't see what they're talking about being substantiated at all.
No, I don't see what the issue is. I say let it happen, and hopefully then Microsoft can fix the problem with Activision Blizzard and make a better company. That's my perspective. If you have a different perspective, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter, the official ITG. Scott, let's move into the next one, because it's a big one. Assassin's Creed Rift could set off the end of the Hidden Ones. Come on, man. This comes from Jake over at Game Ramp. Assassin's Creed as a franchise is now firmly established as a genre-defining part of the gaming industry. The next addition to the expanding collection of titles that fall under this famous IP will supposedly be called Assassin's Creed Rift, which is known to receive its own standalone release. This upcoming title will reportedly be a much smaller scale compared to the expansive mainline series entries in the Assassin's Creed franchise and has recently seen. That being said, there will undoubtedly be a lot of important lore pertaining to the origins of the Assassin's Brotherhood due to the timeline and place in which Assassin's Creed Rift is reportedly set to take place. Assassin's Creed Rift is currently rumored to release sometime toward the end of 2022, Scott.
Yeah, eventually. Eventually. We'll see if that gets pushed again, though. That is the way.
It is certainly the way, right? No one's heard official dates, even a title for that matter. But the title was originally
screen.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen nothing on this, so we'll see what happens. This is just all insider information. The title was originally set to be DLC for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but Rift has proven to be so expansive that Ubisoft decided it warrants its own separate release. It should be said that Assassin's Creed Rift is currently only a working title, and like many aspects of the game, may be subject to change. However, many core elements of the game have remained consistent through different sources, such as its setting and main characters. The game is rumored to be set within Iraqi capital Baghdad and some other major Middle Eastern cities, also likely to make an appearance. The main protagonist for Assassin's Creed Rift will be reportedly Basim. Dude, okay, a central character within the story of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I've seen Basim very little, and I'm 55 hours into this game.
Well, he's been very busy in the events of Rift, it seems.
Right? It is known that Basim was born and raised in Baghdad, becoming one of the most respected members of the Hidden Ones, an ancient organization. So this gets into some spoiler territory. I read before this. I won't get into it. I'm going to leave it out. But Basim to be the major focus. Iraq being a focus for the setting. Scott, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think we've seen that since possibly Revelations, but I think that could have even been just Assassin's Creed 1. With Altair and Akri and the areas around. But
yeah,
I'm wondering, how does this make sense in terms of the timeline? Can there truly be a threat to the Hidden Ones when we see the timeline go all the way to Aiden Pierce?
Wow, right? So here's the thing. The Hidden Ones is part of my favorite aspects of Assassin's Creed because it brings in that stealth assassin feeling, right? You saw where we move into now with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Corey's probably favorite Assassin's Creed. We're going to point that out right now. But you're a Viking, right? You got to do a raid, you blow your horn. There's nothing about assassin that says blow your horn, here I come. So
and Odyssey was like just it was like brother of, I'm trying to think of the game now. What was it called? Rise, Son of Rome. That's That's what Odyssey looks like to me.
So it's
so far from the stealth.
It has really changed, right? Origins, dude, is where, if you play Origins, this is where the Hidden Ones started. It's so funny to see how far the series as a franchise has come, and yet they've also backdated to the very beginning, starting with Origins, and this is the rise of the Hidden Ones. Dude, Origins and Bayek is one of my favorite characters of all time within the franchise. Now, we have a little segment coming up for Inside the Game, so make sure you watch that next week, where we talk about Assassin's Creed and our favorite assassins. So that's pretty exciting, dude. It was cool to see some of us and our thoughts on who our favorite.
Just one.
Oh man, but Origins, one of my favorite. If you can see it behind me, I drew Bayek. He's one of my favorites. I think the guy is incredible. Valhalla, a massive title for Ubisoft over there with Assassin's Creed, and I'm looking forward to this Rift. I'm looking forward to getting into the depths and weeds of more of a stealth aspect of Assassin's Creed. Apparently, there's rumors that they're going to bring it back to kind of where it all began with Ezio and Altair. Definitely look excited to that one. Oh man, I can't wait.
How do you follow up something so large as Valhalla without making it kind of smaller scale and a tighter product? So
yep,
I have high hopes for that one.
Well, even Dawn of Ragnarok, their latest DLC, is absolutely massive. So I think they're kind of going in the scope of that for Assassin's Creed Rift, and thought, man, we're already here with this such a big piece of DLC. Once again, why don't we just make another game? If they can launch that at the end of the year, that means I got a lot of work ahead of me, only being 55 hours in to wrap up Valhalla, Scott. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But let's get into one more title, because we got another issue going on here. Sony's PlayStation business lays off over 90 staff in North America. Michael over at PSU, Sony Interactive Entertainment, has reportedly laid off over 90 staff members in the US, with the losses mainly affecting the sales and marketing departments. The layoffs were seemingly confirmed in documents viewed by Axios, who also managed to speak with one of the staff members affected by the cuts. In addition, VGC verified the claims with an independent source, which revealed a total of 93 staff had been let go. Sony hasn't announced anything and would not respond to requests by Axios reaching out for comment. Dude, they just stated that they are doing, quote, a global transformation, end quote. And unfortunately, it honestly comes down to that's business. It's sad to say. It's just unfortunate times, and sometimes it's a restructuring thing, dude. Just like we talked about with Microsoft and Activision, they can come in and go, you know what, we're restructuring, and they let 93 people go. Hopefully everybody bounces back on their feet. So our thoughts are out with them. Hopefully they can respond back and get back into the working force. If you work for PlayStation, I think you got something to go off of.
That is perfect wording. Respawn back. I think that is what I hope for them as well. But it's important to note that there's no sort of bad blood reported so far. Yeah. No issues that I've heard of or read of that would have explained this other than a restructuring. And that's totally neutral. That just happened.
Yep. No, absolutely. So hopefully everybody can respawn back onto their feet and get things back up and running. Scott, let's get into it. We talked about him earlier. Kojima Productions announces it's relocating after 5 years in Tokyo office. Michael Hardens over at PSU, Death Stranding developer Kojima Productions, has announced it is relocating after 5 years in the Tokyo-based offices. This goes back to the Sony PlayStation purchase. I'm just saying, Scott. Hideo Kojima, who established the studio following his departure from Konami in late 2015, confirmed the move on Twitter. Today is the day we say goodbye to the entrance, the Ludens hallway, and the kitchen that have been our home for a little over 5 years. Kojima Productions is currently working on its second project, although details are still very sketchy right now. Recently, it has been suggested Kojima-san is working, or Kojima-san, sorry, is working. I caught myself. I'm like, Scott's gonna nail me on this one. I better fix it. Is working on a PSVR 2 title, dude. And the Metal Gear creator has said the studio's new game will be the one that everyone says they want to play. I'm hoping it's not a horror game, dude, because I'm not gonna want to play that.
I really am hoping. PT is long and gone. It's not gonna be that.
It's over.
Parasite Eve is one that comes to mind. It's something we haven't seen in forever. I'm not sure how the licensing goes with that title, but
I don't know.
Whatever Kojima's touching is something that we're gonna want to. I mean, it's almost a throwaway line. Something that everybody's gonna want to play. Well, that's already true because of who's in the kitchen on it.
Absolutely, right? I think that comes with and this is why it kind of goes right back to the whole PlayStation acquisition, because, okay, they're moving the studios, right? Take a look at this, Scott. They're moving studios. Why? Because they just got purchased by a major company that gave them the ability then to go to a bigger studio and hire on more people. Why you move? Because you need more space. I don't think they're moving home, Scott, right? They're not working from home. Yeah. They're working at another office, a bigger office. So they're relocating. I could be completely off here, Scott, and looking into the weeds a little too much. But this is my thought. I think PlayStation's looking to buy Kojima, and Kojima Productions moved because they just recently got purchased and have the ability now to do so. That is kind of where I stand. And dude, if they're working on a PSVR 2 title, I'm definitely excited. I'm really hoping it is not a horror game, because then I will not be able to play it.
We've got to break you into that genre eventually,
dude. I don't know if I can do it. But Scott,
we'll start off with BioShock and we'll work from there.
So a lot of people, so for those who don't know, I find BioShock a little creepy, and everybody's like, that's not that bad. I'm like, I still can't do it. It's just, I'm weak, man. I'm weak. But Scott, this has been it. It's been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can always find me over on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28. Of course, that's the one and the only. It's Scott Savage. You can find him at Savage. And you can always join us over on Twitch, YouTube, and OTT platforms around the world. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.